Welcome to a short and maybe messy bonus episode of
Where I Can Top My Knee. I'm Jonathan.
I'm Kevin, and Jonathan, woo, child, what an episode. Let's just go ahead and deep dive into episode 8 of My Stand-In. So, we need to go ahead and just preface again for y'all who have not seen any episode of the show. Get out of this right now. Go watch it. Start from the first episode. And then when you finish episode 8, then come and listen to our recap. Because we're going to have a ton of spoilers. This is available to stream on iQiyi. iQiyi's subscription is way cheaper than Netflix. So go ahead and do it, okay?
Get on that. Get on
it
this show's
right
too good to miss.
Now, okay? Anywho, why don't we, I like to say this, let's get into a real conversation. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So professional.
Let's get into a real conversation because we need to talk about a few things, and we're going to try to be chronological. Okay.
Let's go from the beginning to end.
So we started with
last
this
week
episode.
ended so dramatic.
Right. And I'm still surprised. No one addressed Ming's behavior on set. No one addressed Ming's behavior
ruining
on
that
set.
whole scene.
He made a whole scene, and I was trying to wait for somebody to say, don't do that again.
I mean, it's Tong's set, so we saw here how he's already bullying Joe again by being like, let's do another take of that as he's getting his ass beat, like doing these stunts. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and I just don't get why Tong is so mean to Joe. Like, what did Joe do to you? Like, why?
He's just taking Ming's attention again, and he wants Ming.
It's the narcissism. We talked about that last week.
He don't want to share. He don't want to share with no Joe.
And it doesn't. To me, it's like, sir, you have a wife who happens to be Ming's sister. Isn't that enough? Like,
I wonder if she's gonna come back.
I need her to come back.
See the way her man acted.
Right. And it's like, don't you want Ming to be happy? Even though I don't really like Ming that much, okay? I still don't really like him that much. But
I still don't like him.
you know, like, come on. Like, why are you trying to steal away his little bit of joy? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's finding happiness and grieving over someone who's allegedly not alive. Allegedly. Okay? Like, let Ming
we'll
find
see.
the happiness in believing that this new Joe is like the old Joe. Like, let him have that. Because if this is how,
at least
like, let him have this happiness. But Tong is a narcissist.
Jail, prison.
Right. I can't. And like you said, I know you said this, like, actually on the main episode, like, we're waiting for stuff to be leaked other than what has been leaking. Okay. So
I feel like he needs to get his career ruined because this is too much.
Yeah, it's just it's toxic behavior.
But also, Joe is doing a terrible job at, like, separating himself from past Joe. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't been like, enough. I am not this old Joe. Like, can I be my own person? But no, he kind of is just like, do I remind you of old Joe? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like he's just saying
ground,
that, but
boy. You're giving it away.
He's giving it away. Like, to the point where Joe's mom noticed the drastic change in behavior. But she's accepting it, you know, because look, homegirl is getting taken care of.
Crazy.
He
came out of a crazy accident. It's kind of, you know, expected that you would maybe have a personality change. I don't know.
Maybe, you know, but she's accepting it, and it makes her happy. Like, she's not fighting with her son. Like, she can recover. He's taking care of her. All of that. Like, I think it's all of a good thing, you know? So Yeah, but she noticed it.
So,
and of course she mentioned it to Ming, and I think
and Ming's gonna take that and run with it.
Okay.
Add it to his roster of like,
Okay.
all right, so same name.
Yeah.
Looks like Tong from the back. Same profession. You had an accident on the same day. What's left? You cooked the same way, which is so dumb. I don't know why Joe cooked that same meal
the same way. I would have changed
burnt
something.
that
At least not put the egg in it.
I would have burnt the food.
He could have just not put the egg
done
in
something
it.
else.
That's what he could have done.
He
did everything exactly
anything.
the same way. And
like, you lived with Ming for like 2 months or so,
right.
like 2 or 3 months. Like, you guys had time together. I'm surprised you're not more careful with how you act around him.
So weird.
I guess you think you have a new face that
people not going to think you're the same person.
People not
and I mean, they're probably not
going
to, because, okay, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to point this out. Do you feel sorry for Ming?
No.
You don't?
For what?
Okay, I'm going to say this.
For what?
I feel sorry for Ming. I can feel sorry for someone and also still not like them. Because I still don't like him. Like, I don't want... Like, I would, if I had to work with him and I knew all of this stuff happening, I would have empathy, but I still would not want to be his friend. Like, I don't want to have anything to do with him, you know, because he treats people so horribly. But also, I can tell that Ming might, actually not even might, I do believe Ming really loves Joe. Like, we've gotten that at least, that Ming
in his own twisted way,
in love with Joe, but yeah, in his own twisted way, but doesn't know how to love him the way he should be loved, which
the way Joe deserves,
in the way Joe deserves. And I think this is part of why this happened. Part of me wants to believe that, because we're talking about the spiritual realm here, okay? Part of me wants
you going away from.
Well, hello, he is seeing a shaman. So that already establishes that there's some kind of spiritual element, and there is a body swap. So the spiritual element is there. Okay. So I think this is not too far-fetched, but I think, you know, the powers that be in the spiritual realm are trying to teach Joe a lesson. Not Joe, excuse me, are trying to teach Ming a lesson of how to love someone outside of me, and not in a way that is possessive and controlling, but in a way that respects the other person. You know, this is, and I think this is my little prediction. The way the show might end is when Ming truly loves Joe the way he needs to be loved. Joe is going to get back in his right body. Joe is going to get back into his body. I think that's it. But we're not going to jump. We're not going to jump too far ahead, because we kind of doing.
You jump into the finale. You're not going to jump, but we're not going to.
Now you are the one who said we jumped to the finale, because I wasn't going to say that, because I was going to bring it back. Okay. So
speaking of which,
we have to also talk about P. Wood, because P. Wood had his moment in this episode.
Oh, he was tweaking this episode.
He had his moment,
and I would too.
Right.
I would, because he's like, all right, you know things that you shouldn't know. What is, like, the other Joe that they work with? His wife makes good food. He's like, how do you know his wife makes really good noodles or something? Right. Plus, you know
that P. Wood and his wife had twins.
Yeah, that we were supposed to have twins, but one of them died. How you look the same. How you got the same name as him. How you act the same.
Remember, P. Wood
how you just give the same vibes
with the Vessel Joe's mom. So remember, that was established in the first episode. So the same name is not that weird. P. Wood is just like,
it remind me of the old Joe. Right. You just have the same vibe. Like, you guys act the same. And even Soul is like, oh yeah, they're still investigating who broke into old Joe's house, which is crazy, because, like, who's the owner of this house?
I have a feeling Ming found a way to make it his.
Ming, like, took over the deed, which is crazy.
I mean, again, it's the
and Soul is okay with it, and people is okay with it. Come on. So Soul, Sun is like, he recognizes that it's New Joe that robbed that place. But honestly, he didn't even take anything. He took like what? A box.
Yeah.
With literally nothing.
Yeah, I think nothing of serious value to anyone, and
because there's nothing in that house.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I mean, it's a beautiful house.
Yeah, there's nothing of serious value there, and I think
they're all like slowly recognizing or slowly like coming to the conclusion in their minds. They're like, this has to be old Joe. Like, there's too many coincidences.
Well,
and he's just
then P. Wood and Son confirm it which
is crazy because why would you go visit your parents' grave in this new body?
Right.
You're not gonna put a face mask on. You're not gonna throw a hat on.
Nothing. And the fact that they followed him there, and because P. Wood was already suspicious. He was like, this man is fishy.
He already cornered you in like the hospital hallway.
Mm-hmm. So,
and you're not gonna take precaution?
Right. Like, come on, Joe. Like, part of me wants to say maybe because, let's be real, it is somewhat unbelievable that you swap bodies, right?
It is, right. But I mean,
yeah, but also like he's been dropping not just breadcrumbs, but like literal slices of bread.
He's been dropping loaves mama,
of bread.
Loaves.
Okay, like where people are like, "Come on, it has to be at this point."
And that was like, that was the final straw.
And P. Wood was kind of upset, but I think now that P. Wood and Son know the tea,
are on his side.
They're on his side. Yeah. I mean, also like, what would you do if somebody's swap bodies? Like, how? I mean, if
that would still be so unbelievable.
I wouldn't know how to tell anybody. Like, how would I tell anyone? Because it's just a very...
I mean, that's when I'm on like a burner phone being like, I'm still alive, but I can't reveal myself.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just...
Somebody help me.
Yeah.
I'm working through this New Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just so hard to do.
Yeah, that is hard to do. But
speaking of,
that's his family. That's his family.
That's his family. That's all
he has.
I'm glad that...
So, of course, they would recognize him.
Right. And I also love how after this, Son was like, he's like, cut those ties with Ming.
He said what we said.
Yeah, cut those ties with Ming. Let me pay off your debt.
Let me take care of you. Literally what we were saying, like,
right,
boy, why didn't you turn to him? Why didn't you turn to Son?
And clearly...
He's this rich Korean idol.
Right.
Korean Thai idol.
Right.
Like, come on. Why are you going to Ming to reset your whole situation? Because you need some money.
Yeah, it just...
Even Wood is like, I would have lent you the money. Like, come on.
Yeah, he had so many other options. And the option is being presented again. And he still turned it down.
He's like, I got to see it through, my boy. I got to see
and
it.
I mean, I guess so, because he's already...
he already took the money, though.
He already took the money. So I guess
the trauma has been done. The trauma's been done.
Yeah, I still don't understand. But you know what? You do you, Joe. But let's go into the shaman, who we saw a couple episodes back, and is back in this episode, and has Ming meditate for what seems like for a long time, a long ass time. And I feel as if one of the skills, or maybe the only skill for now, which goes back to what I was saying earlier, is the skill of patience, because Ming is a very impatient person. He wants, because he's so spoiled, when he wants something, patience. He wants it right now. And he will pay for it. Did he really
give him patience, though?
Huh? Well,
did he really give him patience? He's working towards it.
Maybe working towards it. I mean, he got maybe clarity.
I mean, he came back from the shaman and immediately was like, "Come with me, Joe. Drive me somewhere."
Yeah. Like, part of me...
This man is terrible.
And this is where... This is the issue we continually have with Ming. We keep seeing spots of Ming that we're like, maybe he's actually redeemable. And then he does stuff that pisses me off.
I feel like, they could have gave us some moments. What are they? Well, Ming could have had a moment with Tong, like when Tong confronted him, in the hotel last episode. Mm-hmm. They could have had like a real like heart-to-heart for a second.
Yeah.
of him being like, I don't know. Or I guess after this whole realization that Tong didn't do the stunts.
Right.
Ming could have talked to Tong this episode and been like, girl, take me out the movie.
Yeah, something. I just don't get.
But he just walked off set and he's just, I don't know.
Maybe it's.
He just gave some distance.
Maybe it's because Ming is not fully believing that Joe, the one that he's in love with, is in the body of this vessel Joe. Like, he believes it, but is still not 100% on board with it, right? Despite all the similarities.
Well, that's what the shaman was trying to tell him. Like, girl, I'm trying to have you sit here and think over what's happened the past couple episodes, because it's right in front of your eyes. Obviously, this Joe is still the same Joe.
Right.
But I feel like that's not even like the main, I don't know. Like, that's not the main lesson he should be learning.
Right.
Like, you should learn that Tong is a bad person, not that Joe is Joe.
Yeah. And maybe
like, you should find out who the true villain is yourself and Tong.
Right. And maybe Ming kind of gets it, because remember, he did have that whole breakdown on set, and I think he understands he was wrong.
Sorry, but
Tong is not going to admit that he was wrong.
But sorry for not knowing that it was him.
I think
instead of sorry that I ruined your whole career.
I think all of that.
That I chained you to my basement and kept you from going to a movie premiere.
I think he's sorry for everything, because
my brother-in-law crush.
Because I think there's a moment when when Tong and Ming sat down on, I don't know if it was Ming's balcony or whatnot, but there was that moment where Ming actually came off a bit resistant to Tong. I don't know if you got that sense. And I think there's already a bit of a shift. In Ming's, a small shift. I think it's going to take a while, because Ming has been acting this way for a long, and bad habits die hard. Okay. But I feel as if there's a little bit of a shift. But I guess we'll see more in next week's episode, right?
I guess we'll see, but we have to talk about the last thing that happened.
Oh, wait, before we get there, you didn't realize Ming had a brother?
No. I was like, where does man come from?
So he's been there. Sister. He's been there, but he's not.
We saw him and his sister, and they had a whole moment. I was like, where's his brother?
Yeah,
because I feel like the whole purpose of him like hiding that he's gay from his mom was giving like, we don't have like an heir to the family kind of thing. But like, you have a whole brother, like, so
yeah, and this brother,
and his brother also knows about Joe, so like, there's no secret.
Well, I mean, now it's 2 years later. I think everybody kind of knows at this point. Like, nope, like, come on, he didn't, and Ming wasn't doing that great of a job hiding it either. So I think, I
mean, the brother being like, so you're worth 5 million baht, like. And Joe's like, yeah, girl, I am.
Yeah, and I mean,
what about
the brother found out from Ming's assistant. So, I mean, Ming was not doing that great job of hiding stuff.
This assistant not doing a great job.
But the brother I knew was there, but he hasn't been very prominent, with the exception.
He doesn't have that big of a role.
He doesn't have that big of a role. He's kind of there. Not necessarily in the background, but he's there. We did talk. I think you were going to talk about the sneeze.
Yes, because that was what gave it away at the end. That's kind of gaggy. I mean, that's crazy how he's like, take me somewhere, and he's like, I don't know where to go, and he's like, I know a place, and he takes you back to your old house, to the original house, to original Joe's house, and you're like, I don't think we should go up there, and he's like, bitch, let's go. The way it'd be like, I don't want to go up there. That's crazy. Whose house is this? I'd ask. But he says nothing.
Yeah.
And then it goes into like a flashback of them like making out here. And then I thought we were just continuing that flashback. But no, we're also making out right now in real time. And Joe was hard kissing back too. I was like, weren't you like reluctant to do that 2 episodes ago?
Yeah, but
I don't know. I feel like he was like, I don't want to do this. He'd be like, cool,
but I
I
think
don't want to do
the
that.
shift,
And now he's like, we're back in my old house. Like the vibes are set. I don't know.
but I
He was
think the
willing.
shift again is Ming apologizing on set. That was the pivotal moment where maybe Joe is thinking maybe this guy truly does love me and feels bad about it. I don't know.
I mean, but he's still
But also he's
using
still
you as
also
a
doing a piss poor job
yeah.
of
So
being
if
the
he
other
if he
Joe.
really did love me, then he wouldn't sleep with the man that looks like me right now.
Yeah, but he's
because that's what he did right here in this last scene.
right.
Or I guess
But he
in his
did
mind,
it
Ming
to
is like, I need to confirm.
that
Yeah,
right.
but Joe didn't know that. But
well,
yeah, Ming is like, I know one way to confirm whether this is real Joe or not. And that's crazy. Who has a tell that is sneezing as you orgasm? That's crazy.
like yeah.
that is foolishness. That is so funny.
It is hilarious. And I mean, I'm beginning to think Joe might be a little dense. Just a little bit.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
he's a little himbo.
Yeah. One thing I would notice was missing from this episode is Tarn. Where he at? Like, low-key, we don't need to
one
see
episode,
him, but
one episode drama, that's it?
He has to be coming back because unless Tong made him disappear.
Ooh.
Because
I mean, I would have gotten kicked out the movie the moment I knew that they were exes or something.
Tarn to disrupt whatever relationship between Ming and Joe. And so Tarn did a bad job of doing it, you know. So I'm very curious to see what happened to Tarn. Maybe in the next episode we'll find out. Maybe.
I mean, it looks like we're shifting into something else because we got the bombshell.
Right.
The bomb drop.
And before we get to that.
Mic drop.
Before we get to that, I have to ask, do we think Ming might actually be redeemable? I'm asking this again because now we got more information than we did last week.
No.
Still no?
I'll say it again. I'll say it again next week. Still no. Still no.
That things might change. You know,
Ming,
I
never make
feel
me like
as
you,
if
they'll never make me like you.
Because the way this show has been giving us a little bit more of seeing how Ming is. Because Ming is a very complicated character. And honestly, I have to say Ming is my favorite character. Even though I don't like his ass at all. I think he's my favorite character because there's just so much depth to him. And there's so much to talk about. And there's so much to explore with him that he is really making the show, like, even though everyone is playing their part pretty well.
But he's giving
Ming
us the drama.
is the one creating the drama.
The sass.
And Up is playing this role like it is the last role in his life. Like he playing the hell out of Ming to the point that I forget he's Up, you know?
Honestly, Up is a very nice man compared to me.
Yeah, and ooh, honey. Yeah, Up is apparently super nice, you know? So the way he's doing this is he's really giving everything. Like I don't know what he did to get into this role of a person that we don't like, but he's doing it so well. I guess we have to go to the bombshell.
You have to. We can't delay it anymore. That was crazy. Anymore.
After the sneeze, he gets a phone call that Joe's body has been found. Now, didn't I say at some point, well, are we going to find this body?
Find the body.
Like, now this is going
I really didn't think they would, but wow.
Look, now we're at a pivotal point because I was like, there's no way we're going to get around this. But you did mention that this might end up being like the shipper, and something in my spirit is telling me it might be where...
Yup, that the other Joe is in that body, but like it's dead.
It's dead.
And it's just in a coma.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah.
Oh, gosh. And that's gonna make me really upset.
Either that or the way they were all trying to keep him away. Like, did you watch the preview?
I did not.
Episode
I don't
Oh.
watch the preview. I don't. I said I need to go
neither.
in.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yes,
I saw it. I saw it though.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something with the body. I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll find out on Friday. You know, this show is.
I've been forgetting the show comes out on Fridays.
Oh, I remember, and I'm gonna watch.
I
will watch it this Friday, even though I will have a guest, but he has dinner plans when he's here. So when he's off to dinner, I'm watching the show. Like, I have
recommend this show to all your friends. Recommend this show.
Oh, I've been recommending it to everyone. Even, the person that has a little crush on you, I've told him to watch it as well. It's like, you need to get into it. Okay? Get into it. Because...
Get into it, yeah.
Yeah, this show is it. Okay? Anywho. We gotta go. Okay? Thank y'all for watching this episode. Bonus episode of Rye Can Top My Knee. Be safe and don't have your knee like Ming. Okay? Don't be Ming. Don't be
Just don't be Ming.
Don't be Ming.
And hope the Joe in your life. Again, hope the Joe in your life. Hope 2 Joes.
Not both of them.
Hope the 2 Joes top your knee. Yes.
I don't think people want double penetration. Anyway, have a good...
Anyway,
y'all. Have a good day, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.